On the evening of May 3rd, 2007, in a quiet holiday resort in southern Portugal, a 3-year-old girl went to sleep in a foreign country. By morning, she would be gone. And the world would never stop looking for her. Her name was Madeleine McCann. What began as a family vacation would become the most publicized missing child investigation in history, spanning continents, governments, media empires, and nearly 2 decades of unanswered questions. This is not a story of myth or speculation. This is a story of real people, real decisions, and a moment in time that fractured public trust, law enforcement cooperation, and a family forever. Madeleine Beth McCann was born on May 12, 2003, in Leicester, England. She was the first child of Kate and Jerry McCann, both medical doctors, respected, educated, deeply private individuals. Friends described Madeleine as intelligent beyond her years. She was confident, articulate, and curious. She loved books, dressing up, and taking care of her younger twin siblings, Sean and Amelie. By spring 2007, the McCann family decided to take a holiday, something rare in their demanding professional lives. Their destination, Praia da Luz, a small seaside village known for its quiet beaches and family-friendly atmosphere. Nothing about the location suggested danger. Nothing suggested history would be rewritten there. The Ocean Club Resort was marketed as safe, enclosed and designed for parents. Apartments surrounded a central pool. Childcare services were offered. Staff were visible. Crime rates were low. The McCann travelled with friends, 7 adults and several children. Evenings followed a routine. Children were put to bed. Adults dined together at a nearby tapas restaurant. From the restaurant, they could see the apartment block. Or so they believed. That Thursday evening, the children were bathed, dressed, and put to bed around 7:30 p.m. Madeleine slept in a bedroom with her 2-year-old twins. The adults left the apartment door unlocked. Every 20 to 30 minutes, one parent would walk back to check on the children. At 9:05 p.m., Jerry McCann checked the apartment. He reported everything appeared normal. At approximately 9:15 p.m., a fellow diner claimed to see a man carrying a child near the resort, an observation that would later haunt the investigation. At 10 p.m., Kate McCann returned to the apartment. She opened the bedroom door, and the bed was empty. The window was open. The shutters were raised. Madeleine was gone. Kate McCann ran screaming into the restaurant. "They've taken her." Within minutes, guests, staff and locals began searching. Within hours, Portuguese police arrived. But critical minutes had already passed. The scene was not secured. People entered and exited the apartment. Potential evidence was disturbed. What should have been a controlled crime scene became chaos, and that chaos would define everything that followed. Portuguese authorities initially treated the disappearance as a possible abduction. Roadblocks were established, but only after significant delay. No ports or airports were immediately closed. By the time borders were monitored, anyone responsible could have already left the country. As the sun rose on May 4th, the story broke internationally. Within 24 hours, Madeleine McCann was on front pages across Europe. Within days, the world knew her face. Never before had a missing child case received such instantaneous global saturation. The McCanns spoke publicly almost immediately, pleading for Madeleine's return. Some praised their composure, others questioned it. Every word, every facial expression, every silence. The media didn't just report the story, it began to shape it. As weeks passed with no confirmed sightings, pressure mounted on Portuguese police. Then, in a move that stunned observers worldwide, the investigation changed direction. Kate and Jerry McCann, Madeleine's parents, were named arguidos, formal suspects under Portuguese law. No charges were filed. No evidence was publicly presented, but suspicion was now official. The narrative shifted from searching for a child to questioning the parents, and public opinion followed. Cadaver dogs were brought from the United Kingdom. They allegedly indicated the scent of human remains in the apartment and in a rental car used weeks after Madeleine vanished. But forensic results were inconclusive. Them DNA samples were degraded, mixed, and statistically uncertain. Experts disagreed. Courts later ruled the evidence insufficient. Yet the damage was irreversible. The case fractured into camps, those who believed the parents and those who didn't. And Madeleine herself began to disappear from the center of the story. As years passed, Madeleine McCann became more than a missing child. She became a media phenomenon, a political controversy, a case study in investigative failure, a mirror for public fear. She was everywhere and nowhere. Sightings were reported across Europe, Africa, and South America. None confirmed. The most wanted child in the world. Without a trace. In the first days after Madeleine vanished, the world believed answers would come quickly. But as hours turned to weeks and weeks to years, one truth became clear. This case was no longer just about a child who disappeared. It was about systems that failed, about narratives that hardened, about how the search for truth can be buried beneath noise, and about a little girl who never came home.